meets Clark Kent. I love bringing people together. The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world.
Experience it in IMAX. Rated PG-13.
Hey YouTubers, Hankster here, and welcome to another movie review. And today's movie review is none other than Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, starring Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Jesse Eisenberg, Diana Lang, Lawrence Fishburne, Jeremy Irons, Holly Hunter, and Gal Gadot. Now, the movie kind of starts off with the obvious origin start of Batman with the death of his parents, and of course, Bruce Wayne's point of view of the Kryptonian attack on Metropolis and all. Pretty much the movie takes place 2 years or so after the events of Man of Steel, and pretty much, Batman is back on the scene, taking on criminals in his own way, but of course, sort of almost torturing them with branding, a sort of a bat branding iron, something I've never seen Batman do before. And of course, trying to, I guess in a way, try to force Superman to play his hand, being that the Dark Knight doesn't approve of Superman's using of his powers to take on criminals. And of course, afraid like many people on Earth, afraid that Superman might use his powers to take over the world. Even though he did save it from another bunch of aliens that wanted to do so in the first place. Of course, as I said, this movie, of course, is mostly in the point of view of Batman, even though we do see some glimpses of Clark / Superman's point of view in this. Mostly it talks with Lois Lane and all. But it is obviously mostly directed towards Batman. Obviously, both guys do not approve of each other's handling of justice of the world, and basically want to stop each other. Of course, enter in Lex Luthor, a young entrepreneur and scientist who pretty much, through his influences with mercenaries and all, is trying to prove that Superman is a threat and all. Even cause an explosion within the Senate to bring it on more fears on Superman. Now, of course, Lex Luthor finds a way to get a hold of the Kryptonian ship from the first movie, along with Zod's body, to do experiments on it. Of course, that's how he discovers kryptonite as a weakness for Superman. Of course, obviously, before he gets his hands on a big chunk of it, Batman comes in and of course, steals the kryptonite away. Now, in the middle of all this, there is a third superpowered being that is been showing herself, and of course, that's none other than Wonder Woman, played by Gal Gadot. Not as busty as Linda Carter was back in the late 70s, but her looks did look pretty good. Her outfit kind of more Xena-esque than Wonder Woman-esque, but her appearance does kind of make me think that might be, it's a good look for Wonder Woman, being a sort of a Greco-Roman-esque look about her, sort of European, that she's not. Doesn't sound sound like she's from America or anything, that she's actually maybe from ancient Rome or ancient Greece or something like that. Well, pretty good job there. Now, of course, obviously, The fight itself, pretty good fight. Of course, I kind of think that Batman cheated while using kryptonite, putting him in the category of what a supervillain would do when they take on Superman, rather than just trying to find other more honorable ways of taking on the Man of Steel than using something that would kill him. Interesting way too that so obviously some people think that Batman defeated him and all that. Not really. I kind of call it a draw, especially when it came to that. Both of them realize that they do have something in common when it comes to their personal lives. That both of them have mothers or mother figures that both had the same name, and I guess that kind of what stops Batman from initially killing Superman at that moment, that he finds out that Superman's Earth mother has the same name as his dead mother as well. It's interesting too. The reason the way they presented Lex Luthor is sort of I look at him with the red hair and everything, kind of reminds me of how Jim Carrey played the Riddler in the beginning of Batman Forever. So that crazy, wild-haired character, as opposed to that more refined-looking guy that we mostly known from past incarnations of the Riddler. And of course, I still look at he's being played by Eisenberg. And I say, Lex Luthor created Facebook. Not too bad. Obviously, he of course not only discovers kryptonite, but he also finds a way of resurrecting Zod. And how does he do that? He turns him into Doomsday, which I think that was the weakest point in this whole movie. Was here we go. We combine two of Superman's most powerful villains into one. That we turn Zod into Doomsday, and of course, obviously, Doomsday does what he did originally was intended to do in the comic books: kill Superman, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cheesy that they did it like that. That they had Doomsday, be created from Zod, and I did like the way he kind of started morphing every time he was blasted with energy, though, turning more and more into the Doomsday that we know with the bone horns and everything. But I don't know. I just didn't like the idea of combining two villains. I know, obviously, both. Zod obviously is from Krypton, and if you look deeper into Doomsday's history, he is also from Krypton. So let's just combine the characters in the movie. I don't know if they did this in the New 52 storyline or what, but I'm just going by what I know of Doomsday from the post-crisis, New 52 era, where Doomsday was an ancient monster created on ancient Krypton by a scientist and everything, as opposed to being some sort of mutated Kryptonian and all. But I say special effects great for this movie. Kind of makes you, obviously the ending makes you wonder what's going to happen. Now Batman and Wonder Woman are going to try to find other metahumans, which of course, if you read the movie, saw the movie is going to include Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash. And I'm sorry to say, the Flash is played by a total different actor, not the one currently playing him in the TV series. If you don't know that, it's going to be a totally different actor and all. To start forming the Justice League. So interesting there, and of course, obviously, it's going to move on to the Wonder Woman movie first, because we do see a lot of elements that might be shown in the shown or mentioned in the Wonder Woman movie, that as a part, major part of that storyline. It just brief mentionings in this movie. obviously, this, of course, obviously, Superman's dead, but of course, it's not going to be the last we hear from him. Obviously, he's going to come back by the next Justice League movie and all. But interesting ways they handled this movie plot-wise. Something I did expect, but all in all, if you haven't seen this movie, I'm sorry if I give away too many spoilers. The movie's probably still out in theaters. I only saw this about a little over a week ago. But I just wanted to catch this before, obviously, Marvel's major superhero clash movie, Captain America: Civil War hits theaters within the next week, and all. But all in all, good movie. Of course, this is not the last DC superhero movie that's going to be out. We, of course, obviously got Suicide Squad hitting theaters in August, featuring the long-awaited live-action debut of Harley Quinn, Jared Leto as the Joker. Of course, I heard that Ben Affleck will be returning as Batman for that movie as well. So, I don't know if that's, totally going to, how that's going to fit into the Justice League storyline, since it takes place before, it takes it during. Obviously, if you haven't seen, there is sort of a connection between, a small connection between Suicide Squad and this movie. If you pay close attention, there's a little bit of a connection. You just have to keep a good eye on this as well. But you still have a chance to catch this movie. Catch it. Before the summer movie season really kicks into high gear, and all. And I hope you enjoyed this little review of Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. Did pretty good in theaters, being number one for a couple weeks, and as I said, it's a good starting point for the Justice League movies, and finally that DC is finally going to come out with more superhero movies than just Superman and Batman now. Personally, I kind of like their choice of Aquaman. It looks pretty cool. I can't wait for that movie to come out either in the future. But stay tuned here for more reviews and whatnot here on the Multiverse. See ya.